Well, hello everybody, welcome back. So, just finished season 2, and it was a very short season considering the first season was, 23 episodes, or 25 episodes, that was it. And then this season was only 12, so I don't know what happened now. Maybe it was just the agreement that they had, but, who knows. Anyway, I think we're halfway through now, episodes-wise as well. I think there's something like 70 odd episodes, I think. And we're halfway through. So season 3 is going to start as soon as possible, guys. Probably in the next few days. Looking forward to that. But before we do that, we need to do another tier list to see if our opinion has changed regarding some of the characters. Now, we saw a lot of the main characters. Not too many of them died in this one. So we've got along pretty much the same characters. However, a lot of shit happened in that season, and I still can't believe that season only encompassed like 2 or 3 days in real time. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, guys, before we start, please don't forget to hit that like, smash subscribe, because there are daily reactions, and I appreciate all of your support, and I'm very thankful for the 100 subscribers. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you there. All right, guys. So, as you can see, we've got pretty much the same characters. There are a few additional ones in here, and then obviously the ones that died in the last season are no longer on here. But yeah, in this one we've got the Beast Titan. We've also got a few of the characters that did die, and then one special one here. We've got the Titan that killed Aaron's mother in there, because I think he was too important not to include her. Okay, and then as we go, as usual, we got the 5 different tiers. And thinking about this, one thing that's really confused me is why is the top tier red and the bottom tier green? Very confusing. Anyway, so alright guys, so yeah, obviously this is a little bit different because not every character survived the first season, and there are a few additional ones, but not too many, because we didn't actually see that many new characters in this season. And those that we did see, we didn't see for long. But yeah, we saw the new one, the Beast Titan. I've put this one in here, Connie's mother, because I think it's very significant, and obviously the one that ate Aaron's mother on here as well, because that's also very significant. And then all the usual ones that we saw last time. So yeah, one thing I don't get, and it's very confusing to me, is as to why the first one is your red and the worst one is green. Surely it'd be the other way around, but hey, I'm pretty sure I could change them actually. But why be different? It's worked for everybody else. So. Anyway, let's get to it, guys. So, who should we start with? Let's start with... I don't really know who to start with. I think we should start with... Let's start with the guy that I hate. Just straight at the bat, still hate him. We only saw him in one episode, so there's not really much detail to go into. Although, admittedly, he did look like he was, doing the defensive. He wasn't actually running away. He didn't seem like he was being a coward like he was before. But I still hate him. Just my opinion on that's never going to change. All right. Now let's get to one of the newbies. So Sasha's father. Now we only saw Sasha's father in one episode. I don't think we're going to see him again. But I think he's a meh. And I know that doesn't really make sense because we've only seen him in one episode. But yeah, he was such an influence on Sasha. Because Sasha was just like this selfish young girl. And then he kind of enticed her to join the army, and she joined the army, and now Sasha's just a completely different person. And I love Sasha. So I think the next person, the most logical person to do next would be Sasha. And I'm sorry, anyone who hates Sasha, doesn't like Sasha, I love Sasha. She is fantastic. Every time she's in she steals every scene she's in. She's always making me laugh. I can't stop laughing when I see her. So for me, definitely think she's. I don't know where the series would go without her. All right, so let's hit one of the new ones. By new ones, I mean the two Titans that we have here, and I'm gonna put Connie's mom here. Now, it's not because I love her more or anything like that, but this one is more because of the importance of the revelation of this particular character, even though it's not really a character, this Titan. Because this, when we saw this made me come to the conclusion, the idea that, humans are Titans. Didn't quite know how the transformation was made. We do now. We have a theory with some kind of injection. But when she appeared and Connie potentially recognized her, and then she said, "Welcome home," it just clicked, and there was no bodies, there was no blood, nothing. So it just, I think based on its pure importance, she has to be quite high. All right, now let's go for one of the guys that died. I don't know what this guy's name is. I think I only really know the one, Nanaba or Nanabi or something. We only saw them for a few episodes, and if I'm being honest, I don't miss them. I think they made a sacrifice, but I genuinely don't think they needed to. I think, they could have tried and held out, but there was no need for them to go down and attack because there was just so many Titans there anyway. I think that was purely for more like an ego trip. So yeah, I don't miss them. I think they threw their lives away. Next one. Now, hair smelling guy. Hair smelling guy, you say? I think his name was Meech, and he appeared in the first episode, and I was like, all right, this guy's going to be awesome. Second only to Levi with, Titan killing abilities. And then he died. And he died in the most horrible way. Died by 3 Titans ripping him to pieces. And I did love him. I thought he was a good character. I didn't quite think he was amazing because we didn't get that chance to properly explore that. But he was good enough that he gave you that sense of, wow, I like this guy. He's likable, even though he sniffs everybody's hair. But I liked him. It's just a shame that they killed him off. But, I don't like TV series where the characters don't die. Every single episode, they're just not going to die. They're going to survive, They're in a life-threatening situation. Oh, but they're the main characters. They don't die. So they're going to get away. It takes away the fun of it. All right. Now, I'm actually going to go next with Levi. Now, remember, guys, this is based on Season 2. My feelings about them based on Season 2. Now, I love Levi. I think he's brilliant. Okay? But in this season, we did not see Levi. Now, because it was over the space of just a couple of days, and because he was injured in the battle with Annie, we just didn't see him. So I can't put him up here like I did for the first season. That's not to say that I don't like him. I love him. But based on this season, I've just got to put him in the meh. And don't hate me. Because, again, this is based on this season. I think we're going to see more of him in Season 3. And then he'll go straight back up to the top. But if we're basing this just purely on Season 2, he has to go in the meh for me. Because we just didn't see him. We only saw him right at the end. Okay, now, Pastor Nick, I think his name was. I really don't like this guy. As I'm sure most of you didn't either. The guy's a douche. But I can respect the fact that he was willing to, follow his beliefs. He's willing to do what he swore he was going to do. You've got to respect that. But I simply just didn't like the guy. Just didn't like the guy. Now, who should we go for next? I think next we'll go for Jean. Now, I liked Jean. But again, in this series, we don't really see him. He's much in the same manner as Levi. I like him, but in this season, I just don't like him. I just don't like the fact that we don't see him, and I can't put him any higher because we see him in a couple episodes. We see him right at the end, where Armin thinks he might die, and that's great and everything, but we just don't see him enough for me to put him any higher up in this series. Okay, now Ymir. Now, if I remember correctly, in the first one, I put Ymir quite low, mainly because I didn't really know who she was. Now, obviously, the massive revelation that we had in this season was, that she's a Titan. And that she's a very fast and nimble Titan. And that she cares deeply, so deeply for Krita. Or Historia, or whatever we're going to call her. And, I don't know, I liked her. I think she was a good character. I think she was selfish, but then towards the end she realised, well, actually, I don't need to be selfish. I can do this. And there was that little heartbreaking moment in episode 12 where she finally let go of the desire and the need to be with Krita and to protect her. And, that actually made me cry a little bit. So I don't know what's going to happen to her. By what they were talking about and how they were saying it sounds like she's going to die. It sounds like she's going to be eaten to transfer her power because, as she said herself, it doesn't belong to her. She's merely borrowing it. So I suspect maybe that we're not going to see her again. Or if we do, it won't be for a long time. So I'm going to put her up here. I do love her. I do think she developed in this series, this series, and definitely good. All right, so we go with Ymir, so we've obviously got to go with Krita. Now, I put her really low last time because I just thought she was insignificant. How wrong was I? She's actually got a false name. It appears like she's I wouldn't say famous, but important. Now, we don't quite know how important, but she is very important to Ymir. I'm just going to put her in the mess section. I suspect there is a little bit more to it, because in the OVA episode they mentioned that she'll be their ransom, and I think there's something behind that. And I don't think I could have missed it, but I'm pretty sure they haven't explained to us why she had to go into hiding. So correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Let me know. But that's my reasoning. All right, so now let's go for one that I just love in this season, Hanji. Hanji. I just think she's amazing. She's so smart. She's so intelligent. Every time we see her, she's much in the same vein as Sasha. Always makes you laugh. Every time I just want to laugh whenever I see her, because she's just so funny. And at the same time, she was the one that theorized that Reiner and Berto were the Colossal and the Armored. So, if you can deduce that, I didn't. I think I was just so taken aback by the fact that we hadn't seen Annie, and I was actually beginning to like Reiner. So, yeah, that brings me to Reiner. I'm really not sure where I want to put Reiner here. Because on the one hand, I really liked him. He developed. I felt for him. And I felt really good. And then he turns out to be this evil villain that caused everything. But the thing is, I think we see it with a little bit. He seems to have some kind of PTSD. He seems to have like a split personality. He seems to regret what he did, but not realizing the significance at the same time of what he did. And for me, that is just so cruel for him. It makes me believe that, whilst not necessarily forced, it makes me believe that something isn't right. And he was very young when he did what he did. because, you know, he's the same age as the rest of the cadets, and they were, what, 18 years old, 19 years old, so 5 years ago he'd have been 14, 15 when he did this. And so to have all that, and then to still be able to go on, I think that's very strong. And I did like him, and I do think that he's not a villain. I wouldn't class him as a villain. I'd class him as someone who's been manipulated into doing something, I think. And I like him. I don't love him. I don't think we could be without him right yet, but he's definitely gone up for me. And I know he's the bad guy, but for me, I'm finding him more and more likable, even though I know who he is now. I just still find him more likable. So obviously we do Reiner. We might as well do Berto. Now Berto, I think I didn't put him at hate him. I put it really low last time. And I think he's very much the same as Reiner, but this time we do get a little bit, not necessarily development with him, but we do get a little more insight, and I feel like he's the same as Reiner, forced, and we see that he completely regrets what he did when he just can't talk about it. He just physically can't talk about it. He knows what he did was wrong, but they both believe that they did it for their country. We're not sure what that is yet. So I'm going to put him up here alongside Reiner. And I know you might disagree with me. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion based on this season, based on the development we've had. Now, let's go for this guy. Now, he died in the tower. Don't know his name. Couldn't care less about him. So he goes there. Pixis. Now, we saw Pixis a few times in this series, I think. Not too much, though. I think we saw him at the end with Erwin and stuff. I like Pixis, but again, we just didn't see enough of him to make a valid judgment on how I feel about him right now after this season. All right, so I think now I'm going to go for a biggie. I think I'm going to go for Erwin. Now, I didn't like Erwin in the first season. I'm going to be honest. I thought he was spoiled. I thought he was selfish. He just was not a good character. In this season, I like him a lot more. We see his development. We see his desire to help his friends. And we see the pain and anguish when Hans gets killed. And he knows that he's trying to do something and he just can't. And his desire for vengeance, it sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't say takes a back seat, but it definitely, it's not the overriding, I need to kill all of the Titans, like it was in the first season. No, this time he takes a lot more intricate approach. And I like how when Reiner and Bertolt suspected that they suspected, and Erwin was like, no, what are you talking about? He was all cool and calm. I liked him. I liked his development in this season. And then he realized that because he was the one that got captured, all these scouts were dying because of that. And, you know, I think going forward, he's going to be less selfish. He's going to care about everyone else a lot more. He's going to put everyone else first. And I genuinely think he's going to become even better. So I think last time I put him in the meh. I don't quite want to put him up here yet. I don't think he's up there just yet. But I do think he's improved. Oh, we got a lot of them in the Love'ems here. So yeah, I think that's a right spot for him right now. All right, let's go for this woman. She died in the castle. I mean, she died by the horse that got thrown on her. But don't like it. It's died pointlessly. Pretty pointless. Don't see the point. Right, let's go for Connie. Now, Connie had a bit more development. We saw a bit more of him in this series. I like Connie. I think he's funny. I think he's stupid and funny. He's got no common sense. He's very slow. But he's a likable character. He's the one that seems to talk sense into people, even though he's the slowest of them. And I like him. So I'm just going to put him here in the meh for now. Because, again, whilst we saw more of him, I don't think we saw enough of him. to see that. We saw him with his village, and we saw him in the tower. But when we were in the tower, all of the talking and development and everything that was going on was everyone else. Connie really took a back seat. We didn't really see him. And Connie missed the big reveal. So yeah, I don't quite think he's up there just yet. Now, next, I'm going to go for the Beast Titan. Yeah. Now, me personally, I was a little bit freaked out when I saw this guy. I was like, what the hell? This giant-ass monkey. And then he talked. And, I don't quite know what to make of him. Is he a good villain? Is he a bad villain? What was his purpose? It was to experiment? I just don't know. But at the end, we saw a person come out of him. Now, that's obviously important. I think that's going to be explored further in Season 3. But for me right now, I don't think he's a good villain. I don't think he's someone we can despise and hate and want to be up there. And at the same time, I don't dislike him. I'm just going to put him here in the meh. I have no good feelings or no bad feelings towards him. He killed a few people. Obviously, he didn't kill hair sniffing guy himself, but we didn't see enough of him. We saw glimpses, and I think maybe in the next season that will definitely change. All right, now the fourth and final person who died pointlessly. We're just gonna drop you here because she died pointlessly, and she's the only one whose name I actually know, Nanabi, I think, and she went down and died completely pointlessly. She should have stayed at the top. I believe that completely. So yeah, you can put her there. Now, Erwin, the legend, the myth, the man, the legend. How many words we could use for this guy? And I don't think this is any surprise when we put him in the top tier because the guy is a legend. The guy had his arm bitten off and he's still giving speeches telling people to go forth, do this, do that. The guy's a legend. And I really hope that him losing his arm is not going to... They're not going to remove him from leadership because of it. Because I think Erwin is the only thing that's keeping the Scouts together. And I think if he leaves or dies, they're just going to fall to pieces. The guy's a genius. And he knows how to inspire loyalty. He knows how to get people to do what he wants. And I think that's brilliant. So, God forbid something happens to him in Season 3. Alright, now, Hans. Now, if I remember correctly, I put Hans quite low in the last one. I'm actually going to put him quite high in this one because of his sacrifice. Well, I wouldn't say sacrifice. I would have put him in the top, but I just think his desire to inflict pain because of the pain he's felt because of what happened, his desire to do that overwhelmed the fact that he should have just flat out killed the Titan and then ended up getting him killed. So I think his own stupidity resulted in his own demise, and that's why he's not quite at the top. But I did love Hans. I liked his development from this coward to this hero type character. All right, Mikasa. No surprises there. Right in the top, bang. Love Mikasa, and I love the fact that she's just so damn good at doing her job, and her love and desire and care for Eren just drives everything. And she's the reason why the Scouts is just so powerful. And I think, if this series lost Mikasa, he would go in a downward spiral, much like Erwin. I don't know what would happen to this series in as a whole if Mikasa died, because I think the series without her would just not be the same. All right. Now, the Titan that killed Eren's mother. I put her in here. Now, we only see her briefly, and she's much in the same vein as Connie's mother's Titan. But I'm not going to quite put her as high because ultimately it was just her death. I just put her on here because I think her death was very important for maybe perhaps Eren and Mikasa to close that part of their lives. But at the same time, she ate Hans. So I don't quite think I want to put her any higher than that. And then finally we got Armin. Well, I don't know. I like Armin. I really do like him. I think he's a genius. I think the scouts without him would be rudderless in the sense that they wouldn't be smart enough. So yeah, we've just got to put him in the top tier. I don't think personally that the Mikasa and Armin are ever going to change from the top tier. I always think I'm going to always love them. So there we go, guys. Here we go. Here's the tier list. I hope you'll like it. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, which ones you would put where, if you would change any of them, and also let me know if I've forgotten any characters so that I can reply to you and let you know where I would put them. And as always, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Season 3 is coming out next. Excellent, can't wait. So thank you very much, and please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe for daily reactions, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.